Hello and welcome to this small course where I will teach you how to create a basic React application. So let's create a React application. It will be that something simple. So let's do React simple app and let's see from there what we will do. It will be JavaScript and let's create it. And now we will go to our terminal. In my case, I use IntelliJ. Maybe you probably use VS Code, Visual Studio Code. And so you see, if we go to the documentation, create a new React app, they mention the command npx create React app. So let's do that. We can do npx create React app. You could also use, since npm version 6, npm init create React app. You might see also this syntax is the same. Actually, npm init will call npx create React app. But usually you would still see npx create React app is pretty much the same. So let's do that, and we'll do the folder. So it's a dot because we want to have it installed inside of our project React simple app. Beautiful. So this is done, and we should let's see, entry. Oh, it's because I have the package. Let's remove the package.json and let's do it again, and now it should be fine. Yeah, it looks to be fine. Let's just wait, and we can go back actually to the documentation here, create React app, and then they show you also some different famous frameworks you can use. Next.js, Gatsby. I'm not a big fan of Gatsby because I think it uses, it's way too big, and for building a static website, yeah, it's okay, but it's not that easy to use if you want to custom a lot of things. Gatsby might not be the best choice. It's a little bit heavy. Next.js, however, is really, really good. You also have a nice way to design architecture. Front-end React app is the Jamstack. Jamstack, maybe you have heard about it. Jamstack, and it's a really good way to build a good and simple front-end application based on the Jamstack with Next.js. So here you also even have a Wikipedia page for the Jamstack. You see JavaScript, markup, and normally it uses Next. You don't have to, but usually you would use Next.js with the Jamstack, and it has been, I think it has been more or less designed by the CEO of Netlify. So Netlify is a web hosting company, and the CEO obviously of Netlify and Netlify in general will promote quite well the Jamstack. It's a good stack. But in our case, we'll keep it simple, and we will just focus on building a small and quick React application. Let's have a look. Now it has been finished, so we can refresh, and you see now we have new files and new folders. Beautiful. That's really truly amazing. And I have app.js, so I want to start the server, and you see something nice. They already show it to you how to start the server. Well, you do npm start, because if you look in the package.json, that's why I had conflict before, because I had already a package.json file, and indeed when you run the create React app console command, CLI command with npm init create React app or npx create React app, it will also generate a package.json file from the GitHub create React app. So this is why you should not have a package.json file already in your project. So here you can see, if you go script, I have start here, and so when I do npm start, it will call this one, this one, the start, and so it will call React script start. So let's do npm start, but it's exactly the same as mentioning, just as running React script start. It's the same. It's just a shortcut they mention in the script object of the package.json file. So now let's see our application is running. You can see, beautiful. That's amazing. The next thing we can do is to create a component. Why not? Because with React, it's very easy and straightforward to create components, and it helps us to organize much better our code. So I will create a new folder, and the name will be components. So component and ENTS components, and here I will have, let's have our first component, and it will be hello, or maybe just what can it be? I wonder. Maybe hello, maybe not hello, maybe let's say one component will be menu, top menu dot JSX, and JSX is because what we will code inside won't be HTML or just JS code, but it will be a special syntax. That special syntax, it's from React JSX. If we look, I will just share my Wi-Fi 1 second. And if we look to that syntax, you will see what's JSX. It's like class name is the most common syntax from JSX, because class, normally in HTML, to call a CSS class name, it will be class equals and quote and then the name of the class. But here with React is class uppercase name and then equals quotes. So it's like this. I will have class name, uppercase name equals quotes, and then the name of the CSS class, like top menu or so on. It's the same for background image. You also have, if you do style equals, and then it will be here to be style, for instance, and so you will have an object like here, and we'll have style, and so the name of the property will be background color or background image without dash. Normally with CSS is background and then dash image, but with React JSX you will have background image and then the URL. And for background color, it's the same background color, and then the color like white if you use HEX value, or you can just do like white like this. And then you have the style there, or you can just do you can just take the curly brackets here and you can just add the object inside like that. So you see in React you have the syntax is a little bit different. Usually it's uppercase, so background and then color, or background image, or it will be class name and so on. But you also have the curly brackets. Let's have a look. It will be much easier to show it to you. Let me see first. Okay, now I believe I will be able, JSX, I will be able to have internet. Yeah, amazing. Introducing JSX. So JSX is this. That's a special syntax from JavaScript. So why JSX? React embrace. You see it has a different logic and so on. And expressions in JSX, and like here you see we have different elements. That's an object we call here. So there are also parentheses to directly to wrap some code. You have here, you have multiple lines, so you have to wrap it in with parentheses. So that's why we use .jsx. You don't have to use .jsx, but it's a nice convention to follow. So we have menu, and the menu, how we'll do the menu? I wonder how we can create a nice menu. Let's see. And then we have menu, and another component will be home.jsx. and then probably footer. A third component, and that will be footer.tsx. Perfect. And so for the menu, what kind of CSS framework we'll use? Well, I believe we'll use Bootstrap React. That will be the simplest. So let's install that one. React Bootstrap, get started, and we do npm install React Bootstrap and Bootstrap to have the CSS library as well as React Bootstrap. So we'll use components instead of using the CSS class names and so on. We'll directly use components. We also have to import the CSS file for Bootstrap. So we do this, import bootstrap this CSS. So let's have that in our app.js here. And we can already remove the logo.svg. We don't need it anymore. We can also remove it here in src. I'll remove it. And then here, what we'll have. So first, I will wrap it. So this, as you can see, the arrows there is the fragment in React. So fragment in React is when you have more than one parent tag on the same level, you have to wrap them into fragments. So fragment is actually a shortcut, same as doing react.fragment. Now you have the shortcut just like this, short syntax, you see. And so you can wrap, you see the TD is on the same level, and otherwise React won't understand because it needs always one top level tag, and that top level tag will be the fragment. So now we have the fragment here, and we can have the menu. So React Bootstrap, I need the menu. So how to do it? Well, let's have a look. React Bootstrap menu. You know the basic menu bar, nav bar from React. We will have something like this. Let me see just which one I'm looking for. I believe that one will be the best. So let's copy paste this. So again, it's on the documentation of React Bootstrap, and here the Bootstrap is version 5.2 and React Bootstrap is v2.5. So v2.5 is the library of React Bootstrap, and 5.2 is the current version of the Bootstrap CSS framework. So if you go to package.json, you will see them. Oh, they haven't been installed. There's an error. Oh no, that's just for the compilation. So they should be here. Where are they? Bootstrap. Oh, they haven't been installed. I thought we did install them. Apparently we didn't. Let's paste already what we have for the top menu here. And obviously how we'll do it? Well, first we need the name of our component. So it will be const top menu equals, and then we have to do, we want to use React, so equals, and it will be, wait, let me see, because we use arrow function, so it will be like this. And then we do export. So obviously that one we have to return it. So we do return, and then we have parentheses here like this. And here we do export top menu. Beautiful, like that. So this one looks okay. Export default, obviously. Perfect. So this is what it looks like for our first component. We can also use fragment, but because navbar is the top level one, we don't. And we have to import obviously our library. React Bootstrap. What do I say? React Bootstrap. So let's do import, let's do npm install React Bootstrap and Bootstrap. I thought we did, but for some reason we didn't. And then we can have a look Whereas I'm just looking what we can close that one. And yeah, obviously the documentation of React, I highly suggest you to have a look. Some concepts, it's a really good documentation. Like the React documentation is one of the best documentation. We don't use class nowadays. We mostly use functional programming with React. Here you can see they use functions. However, for us, well, we use arrow functions. It's usually in most of the projects, it's always arrow functions. It's just the shorter syntax of a normal function, of a traditional function. And there are a few differences actually. So function, vs ES6, because it's actually from ES6 of the version of JavaScript, arrow function. And the difference also is the scope. So if you check there, with the arrow function, you have this is always available. So if you go scope, or maybe this, you will see, or use of this keyword. So unlike regular function, that's one of the main difference. Unlike regular functions, arrow functions do not have their own this. Indeed, the this is still referring to the main scope, like the main class, for instance. Because normally with traditional function, when you use this, it will be the this of that function when it's inside of the function. But with arrow function, no, it solves that. It solves that issue. So the value of this inside of an arrow function remains the same of the lifecycle. It doesn't change. So when you see here the example, this dot name, you see my name is, that's let me see, that's the arrow function. So my name is, no this binding here, and here this dot name, it will be, where is the name attribute? Oh, that's the name attribute. So again, my name is undefined, my name is, and then that's the name. This is arrow function, this is regular function, and so using new keywords, there are a few differences, but the main one is for the this. The expression here also, they say when and why you should use the arrow function. And again, they will mention to you this.id. You see, for instance, here, for example, look at this set timeout function below. Here, function counter, and so you have to bind it. ES5, that's a normal function. ES6, the this.id will be 42 here. ES6 arrow function can't be bound to the this keyword, so it will exactly up a scope and use the value of this in this scope in which it was defined. So again, when you should not use arrow function, obviously after a little more about arrow function, I hope you understand. Yes, object. So there are a few cases. Again, it's about scopes and so on. Like when you use Mocha for tests, if you use the Mocha test runner, it's always better to not use arrow functions because you might have some side effects. So again, here in this example, I believe this value, they will show you this, and it will be global object. And so when you use the arrow function here, this will be, it will be of what scope it is. So it's just a matter of scope. The behavior of this inside of an arrow function differs. It will differ from a regular function. So arrow function doesn't define its own execution context. No matter how or where behind executed, this value inside of an arrow function always equals this value from outer function. In other words, the arrow function resolves this lexically, because before there were some issues. You had to hack in normal JavaScript to keep the this from before. Like you had to create to assign a new variable with the this before the scope and to reuse it. It was not really it wasn't very clean. And with arrow function, it's very, very good because you don't have that issue anymore. Again, here our function, this color, and it's not a constructor. Oh, that's for I believe this is for the object. A consequence of this cannot be used in a constructor. Oh yeah, cannot be used. Yeah, I see. Because normal function in JavaScript, somehow you can use the new keyword, but not with arrow function. And that's it. So now let's go back to where we were. We talked enough, and here I will now our packages. You see the React Bootstrap is installed 2.5, and the Bootstrap library, so the CSS library 5.2 has been installed as well. So now this one in app.js, you see I can even access to it. So in our top menu, we can import the different components. You see nav as well, I can import it, and that's it. And as you can see as well in the documentation, you see one line you don't need parentheses because you just have one line. But when it's multi-line, so when you have multiple lines, you need parentheses. So again, I believe they mentioned this oh, they don't, maybe. Maybe they mention it somewhere else. I would like to show it to you, however, React multiple lines parentheses. Let's have a look. So why we need parentheses around multi-line in JSX? So you will see, and here the answer, yeah, I believe is taken about something like this. Yeah, it's about that. Quite usage. This is but I don't think that's a good it's not what I wanted to show it to you. The conversation wasn't very clear. So here render do they okay, maybe let's see if we can have I believe there they explain quite well. Let's have a look where they're explaining this. Maybe it's on a different page. Apparently I don't have the same page as what Google could see. No, it's not here. Let's see there. Do we have it here? So multi, yes. Oh, it's probably there. And indeed, was it here? Avoid confusion, arrow function. That's again about arrow functions. And where it is, wow, no, it's not there either. So must be wrapped. But yeah, basically, if you have only one line, it's fine. It doesn't have to be wrapped. But when you have more than one line, you have to wrap with parentheses. I was hoping to find another documentation to show you some different kind of explanations, but apparently I don't. So here, let's see. Well, why is it so hard to find the right explanation? First React component. I believe here it would be a good article to start. Getting started with JSX, yes. this is how we create a component. That was I believe the examples are a bit old because they still use var and they use React create class. Now we don't do that anymore, but I believe that person will still speak about, yeah, if a render method returns more than a single line of HTML, the HTML must be wrapped in parentheses. Okay, it's more or less the same explanation that I did, but at least you know. So let's go back to our code. That's our first component. Beautiful. We can already import top menu in app.js. So we'll have top menu here, and it will be a inline component. Oh, I just want to, oh yeah, it's already exported. Beautiful. And I mean, it's already imported, sorry, not exported, imported here on the top. And then I will have homepage. So homepage, it will be const home. And then I do this. And here I will just return, it will be p hello. It will be just hello, really simple. And then I can export default, and here it will be home. Beautiful. So now I can have home component here. And then the last one will be, oh, yeah, I will import it. Now it's imported. And now, and by the way, if you notice, you don't have to do .jsx. It's not, you don't have to do that. Automatically, it knows the extension of the file. And then we have the footer. So footer, it will be the same, and here inside of the file, so components slash footer.jsx, I will do const, so we can do like that, const footer, and again it will be, so here to be equals, and here we'll return, what will return, so we can do container from Bootstrap, and then we can do, I'm not too sure. The Bootstrap, let's have a look. Bootstrap, React, maybe have a nice style for the footer. Footer. Let's have a look here. Oh, yeah. That's not really Bootstrap React. It's not what we are looking for. Maybe we can do some colon. Call. So we can do a row, and here we'll have a few columns. So let's import that. Let's import that one too. Here we can use class name, and it will be flex grow 0 align content center. Let's do that. And then here it will be column will be LG to be 4. I think it has to be like this, LG4. So here to be column 1. This is just to show you an example. And then column 2, column 3. And then we can do also some offset. So it will be, does it have offset of 2? Perfect. Normally it will look something like that. Beautiful. And we can obviously export it here. Export default footer. Amazing. Let's have a look. Column React Bootstrap. Let's have a research here. So how does it do it? Row, a row, and then column. So column, oh, they use fluid. Oh yeah, you can also use that one. And fluid is just for the way how it will interact with the browser, like fluid bootstrap. I'll show it to you with the containers. So fluid, it's here. So the width will be 100%. You can use different class names, container fluid. Yeah, for the footer we can use that one actually. So let's do here fluid. Beautiful. And then here you see you can normally you have, where is the offset, and then the number. So how it works here, you see, oh yeah, let's do MD span for offset. It works that way. And let's do MD. So MD is medium and LG is large. So for us we'll use MD. It's about the size of the screen. And here it will be, so MD, and its span will use 4 like this, and then 4, 8, 12, because in total it's a maximum of 12. So maybe 3, 6, 3, 3, and 3 here, and then 3 there as offset. Beautiful. And as you can see, we need curly brackets twice because it's an object. So in React, in JSX, when you have an object, you need double curly brackets or double curly braces if you prefer. So it's exactly the same as doing here. You would have const, and then it will be, well, column options, let's say column options, and here we will have an object and it will be this in the object. So it's exactly as doing this, and then the column options, we would have it here, column options, exactly like that. However, because we want to use directly the object inside of the parameter there, we need twice curly brackets. So with React, one curly bracket is an expression. You can do 3.2 or just one number, or you can just do a string like this. However, if you want to mention also an object, you have to use twice, so double curly brackets. So again, remember when you see curly brackets, it's the same as doing options or just like objects, and here to be objects and then the object here. It's exactly the same. So a lot of beginners, they are a bit confused because they believe they can just do it with one curly bracket. However, it means this is not an object and it won't work. You see, JavaScript, the compiler, gives us an error, a compilation error, because it's just one curly bracket. However, you have properties, attributes, it's an object, so no, you need two curly brackets. That's the difference. So let's have a look now. Let's restart again our server, npm run start. And let's see, let's wait. It's a little bit slow. That's okay, you know, it does happen. Let's see if we don't have any errors. Oh, I didn't import actually the footer. Now it's imported. And for home, you can also use a child actually, like children here, to change the value. Children, so here it will be just, you know, you can just show what you want there. So it will be children, and then home it will just be like, so basically you will have, no, let's not do children, let's just do what it will be. Probably it will be greeting, and here we'll have greeting, and so there it will be greeting equals hello world. Perfect, we do like that. So now let's see how it goes. Yeah, hello world, navbar, it's more or less what we want. Home is not center for the greeting, so we do class name, and here it will be text center. So it's Bootstrap class name, text center. Now the hello world is centered. Maybe let's also use a div, so we'll have more than one tag, so we'll have to wrap with parentheses. And here we'll do div class name equals, it will be margin top 4, and then we'll do the div at the end like that. And let's have a look how it goes. You see I have a margin now here. It's nice. On the footer we can have a HR tag to have a separation. You see that's a little bit better. So maybe we want also in the footer to let's also have offset. So let's do offset double curly brackets span, and then to be 2, and here offset it will be also 2, and then here it will be span 2 offset 2. So that's 2 4 2 4. Here it's 8, and then again here 2 and 2. It will be more aligned. So you see that's already better. And for the menu, let's go to top menu, and there let's do React simple app, and here to be well, contact and then about. So contact about, it's just an example. Maybe contact we can just do, let's make it even simpler. We don't need about, and contact it to, or maybe about, and it will be like, I don't know, your website. So for me it will be, for instance, for me it will be pl7.me, and then here it will be mailto, and then to be hi at ph7.me, for instance. And yeah, pretty much that's it. So you have contact now. You see contact, it will open my mail app because it's it will mailto, it will use the mail application of your computer or of your phone. And home is home. So home you can just do like this or like that. And that's it pretty much. And about is my website, and that's it. So we have column 1, column 3. So you see this is a really basic app, but well done already for what you have done. It's already an amazing job. You see, with React you can build a simple website in just a matter of 20 minutes.